Welcome to the Reddit on Reddit podcast. My name is Maverick, and I'm joined as always by the one and only Ducktergoose. Have you come across ridiculous stories on Reddit and around the internet? Well, we're here to finally talk about it. Every podcast, we pick a few select bits of insanity from the internet and break them down and give our opinions as if they really matter.
Duh, it's the internet.
Because they do. Everyone's opinion matters on the internet. If you don't know who I am, I stream on Twitch Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. Central Time, playing games and having the weirdest conversations about life. It never fails. Ducktergoose is my wife. She's a part-time Twitch streamer and full-time dog mom who always seems to find the best Am I the Asshole or straight up Reddit ridiculousness to discuss, and it ends up in my inbox every time. Ducktergoose, welcome to the show. Do you have some internet insanity to share with us? Let's dive in.
Let's do this.
Yay! All right, well, what do you got for me today? We got 4 to talk about?
Yeah, we got 4 to talk about.
All right, what do you got?
So we have one woman asking, am I the asshole for asking my husband to join me in my sister's birthday since he was at the same restaurant? I already have an opinion about
that. Sounds like an episode of Seinfeld.
It does, right?
I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know. It's like, is this real life?
Yeah.
I have a fabulous malicious compliance.
Ooh, those are good.
/ petty revenge. I'm not really sure which one it goes. It might be both.
You decide.
True. Employee saves themselves from legal trouble by showing an email they asked for from the COO before starting. Follow his orders.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Especially when it's the COO involved.
Isn't that great?
That's great. What else you got?
I have another one. This one's definitely malicious compliance.
Yes.
Boss decides he will no longer tolerate grammatical errors in their reporting and then regrets that decision immediately.
I have a good story to go along with that. Perfect. All right, what else? What's the last one?
The last one is probably my favorite. Or, yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
Woman continues to enjoy her ice cream in peace as entitled mother yells profanities at her for not sharing her ice cream with a screaming toddler.
Yes.
That's
a good one.
We'll get into that.
Nothing like a screaming toddler to add plenty of weight to a story.
Oh, it's great.
All right, which one do you want to start with?
All right, let's start with the woman at the restaurant.
All right, so go ahead and go over it, and then we'll discuss it.
Okay, so let me read this out. I will try to be brief.
Yeah.
Okay. So the poster, who is the wife in question, was invited to join my sister's birthday a few days ago at a restaurant. My husband didn't come because he said he had a meeting dinner with some of his clients. That sounds important.
It does.
So this made my family feel let down, especially my sister, who was turning 18.
Okay, that's a big birthday, but I mean, you think she'd get over it. Anyway.
Who wanted him there, and also her 18th birthday was a big deal to her, obviously.
Okay, that was an eye roll for those of you listening in the audio.
An audible eye roll.
Yeah, that was an audible eye roll. You could probably hear it.
I almost tipped over my soda.
You did.
Oh my goodness. To my surprise, when I arrived, I noticed that my husband was having his meeting at the same place.
What?
I'm sure that was a coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
Happens to him.
Yep.
His
like
table...
she didn't know where he was going.
Right, exactly. His table was right in the corner, and he had about 4 men sitting with him. My parents and the other guests saw him as well. Good job, you all have eyeballs.
You scanned the restaurant.
Good for you.
Good for you.
I waved for him, but he saw me and ignored me.
He's doing his work. Right? I mean...
Sorry, the next line is, he obviously was as much surprised as I was, and I don't think that's...
No, there's no way.
Well,
there's no way you were both surprised that you both ended up in the same restaurant. This isn't some, like, 90s sitcom.
Is there only, like... First of all, I have more questions than they post, because I want to know, is there only one nice restaurant in this town? If they're like, I'll go to the same restaurant.
Are they at the, like, one Applebee's in, like, a small town?
What? Is this one, like, steakhouse? Yeah. I can't imagine that, because, like, 4 clients over a dinner seems like it's a big-ish
You'd think it's, like, a larger metro area, but...
Who knows?
I mean, who knows? Maybe they're farmers.
Yeah, maybe.
You know,
maybe there really is only like one nice-ish restaurant or big restaurant.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, continue.
Or dinner restaurant.
Sorry, we're getting stuck on one.
Sorry, I've got so many questions. Oh god. My parents asked why he didn't come to the table to acknowledge them after the cake arrived.
How dare you?
Probably because he was busy with work, but I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yes, you are.
I got up and walked to his table. Danger, Will Robinson.
Yeah, don't do that.
I stood there and said, "Excuse me." My husband was silent when I asked, "Oh no, my phone." After I introduced myself to clients. Don't do this.
No, don't do that.
If I asked after introducing myself to his clients, if he'd take a few minutes to join me and the family in candle blowing and say happy birthday, but he barely let out a phrase and just said, "I don't think so. I'm busy right now."
Which he is. He's doing work. He's actually working.
I insisted. I have comments. I insisted.
Yeah, I have a comment too.
It would just take a couple of minutes and that it would mean so much to my sister. Who cares? He is with clients. He's basically like, this is like if you just happen to be out to eat and you saw like your acquaintance who is a surgeon, right? And he's meeting with like 3 drug reps, right?
Yeah.
You can't just walk up and be like, "Oh, hey, can I just steal this guy right now? I gotta go, and I'll bring him right back."
I really don't see any difference between this and like if you walked into my office.
Right. That's
what I walked into your office one day and we're like, "Hey," like an actual office.
Yeah. Like if you were physically sitting in an office building,
yeah, and you
were having a meeting with clients, and you and your family just walked through the door and were like, "Hey, I need to borrow. Like, you should come with me for a second."
No,
there's no difference.
No,
it's just no.
No. Anyway, continue. I'm sorry, we're getting
ahead of myself.
You are.
Oh no.
Yes.
I read ahead. I insisted, saying it would just take a couple of minutes and that it would mean so much to my sister. He stared at me and stared awkwardly back at his clients. They said nothing, and he got up after my parents were motioning for me to hurry up. Okay, I didn't mention that the person posting this is a 26-year-old female. So, I don't know. Some people say you don't mature until 30, but...
I mean...
But still.
I got married at 25. We got married, or I was 25, you were 23.
Yeah.
I was not ready to be married at 23 or 22 or 21.
But you were still adult enough to go, you're in a meeting.
Well, I mean, I think some people have better social cues than other people. Well, you know?
That's great. Like, but yeah, they said nothing, and he got up after my parents motioning for me to hurry up. It's not even spelled right, by the way. Side note.
Oh, good.
Totally wrong.
Good. Thank you, Reddit.
He sat with us when my sister blew the candles, and that's what it says, and cut the cake. My parents insisted he takes a piece and join us in the selfie, but he got up and walked back to his table looking pissed.
Don't blame him.
Don't blame him.
She could have blown an entire business deal.
We haven't talked till we met later at home. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hard reading about Reddit because they're like, spell it correctly.
Yeah.
He was upset and started again.
Thank you, Reddit.
Sorry. He was upset and started scolding me in front of my parents. Also, how old are these parents? I have questions.
Well, how old were our parents when we got married?
Well,
50s, 60s,
40s minimum. If you think like if you had she's 26. So assuming she's the oldest.
So the parents could be in their 50s.
Yeah. Yeah. At minimum, late 40s.
Yeah. You're going to get embarrassed because your husband called you out in front of your parents and you're 26 years old?
Also, why are your parents at your house?
Why do you care?
On your sister's birthday.
They weren't at their house. They're at a restaurant.
No, it says...
later.
Later at home, he was upset and started scolding me in front of my parents, saying I embarrassed him and made him look unprofessional and ruined his business meeting. All of those things are true.
Yeah.
I told him he overreacted since it only took a few minutes and it was my sister's birthday.
No,
it doesn't matter. And my family wanted him to join since he was literally in the same restaurant. Nope. He called me ignorant and accused me of tampering with his work, but I responded that ignoring mine and my family's presence was unacceptable. I feel a divorce.
Wow. To be fair, his response was completely legit because she could have blown an entire business deal and cost the entire family money.
Sounds like she did.
Well, did they confirm that actually happened, or he just said you could have
done? He ruined. Yeah, it ruined his business meeting. So it's possible that they came back later. Not
okay,
but
I'd like to know what he does for a living. That would put a lot more weight into the argument. But I mean, I guess it shouldn't really matter. I guess, but
right. Oh, hold on. There's more. Oh, yes. We argued. Then he started stonewalling me and refusing to talk to me at all. Well, clearly because
she can't be reasoned with. Clearly,
right. FYI, I didn't have an issue with him missing the event. That sounds like a lie. But after seeing that he was already there, then it became a different story. It literally also took 5 to 7 minutes. He didn't even eat nor drink. Just sat down and watched.
Oh, at the party. Gotcha. Oh, good Lord. I mean, I hope she finds that her wallet is significantly lighter because she decided that her husband just had to go meet them at the table in the middle of a business meeting.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Could you imagine if like your dad was doing surgery?
Yeah, that's what
and your mom just walked into the operating theater and was like, "All right, I have to take him."
Well, it's like, "Hey, my her sister is having a birthday 3 days like the next room over. Yeah, we're just gonna take him for like 5 minutes and then come back." Yeah, that's what I think. So I should preface with my dad is a surgeon, so immediately that's what my brain goes. Yeah. Or even if it was like me, because I have had basically one work meeting at a restaurant.
Yes, but I have had 0. Unless you count meetings between us.
Between us, yeah, and my parents.
Yeah.
But like
we
even yeah, it's the same to me. It's the same thing as going, no, I can't be there because I have a very important work function.
Yeah.
And you going, yeah, okay. And then going, hey, look, I ended up at the same physical place as your work. We just happened to be in the lobby.
There is no way this happened by coincidence.
No, there's no way.
She had to have known.
Or, yeah.
Where they were going. And she did this on purpose.
Oh, yeah. There's no way. There is no way this happened by accident.
No.
Unless, like we were saying, somehow there was only one restaurant in the entire town that's good enough for a birthday. But still, it's like, I don't care. And I should also preface with, I have 2 narcissistic grandmothers and a narcissistic sister. So I know how to deal with these type of people. But even then, I don't think I would ever leave, even if I knew someone. Like, even say if you knew the business clients he was meeting with, right? And you were friendly, which it doesn't sound like you were. But
no,
even if that was the case and you were all friends, still not appropriate.
No.
In any shape of the world.
No.
And no, there's no way.
I mean, we've all been out and like seen our friends and family and like coworkers out in public. This is a little bit different, but it's on the same vein. If you can understand like the social cues, you know when to be like, no, I'm just gonna like mind my own business and not worry about it. Like who's like clearly they went back to this lady's house, and like I'm assuming opened presents or had cake or something.
Well, that was the thing is like apparently they all went back to their house anyways. So who cares? We've had it before where we've had to celebrate one of our birthdays away from members of our family.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
No.
You just like it's very funny. There's the top voted response is fabulous. It's basically saying all the things we are, but there's a great line in it. I have to find it again.
Okay, I can't wait for this.
You and your parents are adults. If it is your job to manage your feelings. Your sister is 18, not 6. She should understand.
Yeah.
That it's important. And the fact that this lady's parents were like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
You should get over here. Like,
unless the daughter whose birthday it is, or whatever is so completely self-absorbed that they just can't stand the fact that a family member is in the same restaurant and not pay attention to them.
Yeah, that's what
unless that's the case, and she was throwing an absolute tantrum that we don't know about.
Right. So either, yeah, there's a lot of missing.
It doesn't make it right that she's pulling a tantrum.
There's a lot of missing information.
Wow.
Oh, that's a good one. I forgot about Thanksgiving.
That's the one you would hope there would be an update later on.
I know.
Because you almost want to know, like, what happened.
It's one of those ones where it's like, you are so clearly, you, the original poster, are so clearly the asshole, but you are so delusional that you don't think you are the asshole, because otherwise, why would you put this on the internet?
Well, she's clearly self-absorbed.
That's what I mean.
And thinks that
it's not her.
That she's the most important. Yeah.
No way.
What do you guys think? What do you?
I could totally see my sister doing
Put down in the comments what you think of this one. Like, what's your response to this?
So what do you think?
Was what she did justified?
So number one is, am I the asshole for rooting? Let me read the actual title. Okay. Am I the asshole for asking my husband to join us in my sister's birthday since he was at the same restaurant? So number one, are they the asshole?
Is she the asshole?
I say yes.
Yes, I say yes.
8,000%.
100%. So if you guys think she's the asshole or not,
just let us know.
Put it in the comments.
What would you do in this situation?
Yeah, what would be?
I would.
What should a normal person do?
Yeah.
Because clearly she's not normal.
No.
I mean, what is normal?
What is normal? Define normal.
Define human.
Is. Define is.
All right, what's the next one? Good Lord.
Oh, this is malicious. Okay.
This is
a malicious compliance.
Malicious compliance.
Let me tell you, this is one
of the.
You
want to explain malicious compliance for those who don't know what this is?
It's basically like you are asked to do something, or you are told not to do something by, usually in an employee situation, by some sort of manager.
Right.
That you do on a regular basis, or has just been taken for granted. So it's so ridiculous and obnoxious that you maliciously comply. So you comply in a way that is to the letter, so usually nitty gritty. So like, it's instead of doing one step that takes up 3 steps, you do each step at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So in general, it usually takes longer.
And you follow the policy word for word.
The policy to the letter.
Yeah. As we all know, if you've had a job,
also, I just realized your Coke can is backwards. My Coke can.
Oh, nice. If you have a job, there's usually like a handbook, or there's like specific policies, right? And like you're expected to follow the policy. But a lot of times they're like, there's gray area on each side of the policy where it's like, this is how you're supposed to do it, but we're going to do it like this, or we're going to change it.
Yeah.
Malicious compliance is like, no, I literally am reading the handbook and I'm going word for word, step by step by step. And usually
it's
when that happens, it's in response to something that management has said or done. And you're like, okay, fine. I will follow the policy step by step, word by word. And generally that ends up going back to management, and management's like, what are you doing? And they get upset about it.
And then you go, well, per the policy.
Yeah. Then you can throw it back on their face and go, per the policy, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. You're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
All right. So now we know what malicious compliance is. All right. What do we got?
All right. This one is called Break the Law. Sure thing, boss. Just sign here, please.
Yes.
I used to work as a spare parts estimator for a fairly niche industry. My job was essentially to work out what parts of our main product the customer wanted, find out how much it would cost us to make, add a little bit of a markup, and send them a quote. My boss was pretty strict on traceability, so everything needed to be recorded, including why a certain markup had been applied to a particular product. Normal value for these quotes is somewhere between a few £100 and a few $100,000.
They're clear in the UK.
Yeah, they're in the UK.
In the UK. Yeah.
Very rarely do we get orders for anything more than that. Once or twice in a decade, in my experience. A request for quotation landed on my desk when I was work from home during COVID, and it was a biggie.
Uh-oh.
Just looking at the list of parts the customer wanted, this was going to be an absolute killer. over £1 million all by itself.
Ooh.
That's a big one.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I was told by the sales guy that if this one went well, there was another to follow of an even bigger size.
Good lordy.
Ultimately looking at 10 million over the next 4 years.
That's a lot of money.
No pressure.
No pressure. One person handling this whole thing.
So normally I can do 5 or 6 of these quotes in a day, but this one quote took me 6 weeks to put together.
Wow.
I was in constant contact with 20 plus vendors, getting specifications, technical details, prices, and lead times for over 400 items. Finally, my masterpiece.
Okay. All
Then came the snag.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Always a snag.
Here's
Here's the catch.
The sales guy then says that because of the country this customer is in, they need to have 4 or more quotes in from different customers in order to get it cleared by their government. Some anti-corruption policy that had been in.
Okay.
We were the OEM of the product. And there's
original equipment manufacturer.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Continue.
And there's nowhere else on the planet that they could get these parts from. So we'd have to work through third parties to get it done. And he knew just a guy.
Everybody has a guy. This is his guy. This is his parts guy.
It's his guy.
He's the guy. That's the guy.
In comes a one-man band with a dodgy-looking entry at company's house to save the day. Company's houses.
Yeah.
Sales guy and him go way back.
So like college roommates.
Yeah, probably. Roommates. He was going to be the preferential supplier. Quote.
I could see where this is going.
I was asked to do the normal quote to him, then bump up the prices by 30% and send that to 3 other companies who had been asking about it, so they would absolutely not get the contract with the end user. I argued the point, saying that the whole purpose of the anti-corruption policy is to prevent situations exactly like this.
It sounds like the company, the owner or the manager, is trying to line his own pockets here.
I don't know.
Uh-huh. Okay.
But I was overruled. The COO of the company now tells me just do it over a phone call.
Just do it, forehead.
Just do it. Just do it.
Do
at
it.
which point
do it.
I request that in writing before I go ahead and fast forward 2 years.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
There's still no order that's been placed. I wonder why.
I wonder why.
Sorry, I read the next sentence in my head.
Don't read ahead.
Sorry.
Okay.
Then I find out through a different sales guy that the one-man band has been put on a blacklist by the country's government over this project. The other 3 companies have been turned down. The end user is asking other companies to come in and take our product out and replace it with their own.
Dun dun dun.
A huge investigation is called for by senior management. My quote is ripped to pieces and examined in microscopic detail. And the question gets asked, why did you give different prices to these other 3 when you knew it was all to do with anti-corruption? We should fire you. That's millions of pounds of order you've lost us. That's a weird way to say it.
Yeah.
Out comes the email from my little black book. This is the malicious complaints part.
Yep.
On to the desk it goes. Everyone gets very quiet.
I could just see him like opening the book and just going, just like sliding it across the desk super slow.
Here you go.
Yeah.
And the COO starts packing his desk in a box the next week. The moral of this story is, moral of the story, children, someone tells you to do something that is borderline illegal, make sure you get it in writing. Keep it off of the internet. Safe.
As in not an email.
Yeah. As in print that email and keep it in your little black book.
Don't try to save it on Outlook, because Outlook sucks at saving documents.
Yes. They will delete it.
It saves it for like, what, 90 days?
Depends, but yeah. In general,
I think when I worked at the bank, it was 90 days.
Yeah, our retention policy was 90 days. But yeah. technically you can save it. But yeah. So side note, if you have an email that you want to save and you don't have a way of printing it, you can save it as a, if it's like Outlook, you can save it as an HTML onto your desktop, open that in Word, and then save it as a PDF.
Or take a screenshot of it. I mean, yeah.
If you want to have all the pieces.
Yeah, if you're gonna, and the boss tells you to do something, you do it, right?
Yeah.
But keep records.
Yes, you keep records for everything.
So you can throw it back at them and they're later and be like, listen, I was just doing what I was told. Not my fault, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to like do that all the time, and when I worked for the bank, or they would come up with a new policy.
Oh yeah.
And they'd be like, "We're doing it like this," and so we would follow the policy, and then they would come back at us and get mad at us, and we're like, "Listen, you told us to do this." I don't know how many times where they'd come up with a policy, we would start doing it, and then the next day they'd be like, "No, that policy sucks. We don't want you to do that anymore."
Well, wasn't there a policy once they were like, "We're gonna make this policy change," for a really stupid reason. Because it's taking you too much time to do this one thing.
Yeah.
So we're going to make this policy change. And then everyone started following the policy, and it took 3 times as much.
Yes. Because they didn't ask us when they changed the policy.
Right, exactly. They were like, well, it says this, so we're going to do this. And obviously it's going to make it faster.
Well, obviously, because management came up with the idea. Obviously, it's correct. The employees would never know how to come up with a policy on their own that would work.
Yeah.
Even though they're the ones that do it every day. Yeah, we've read a bunch of other ones about like malicious compliance, and it ends up costing the company way more money.
Oh yeah.
Ends up taking way more time.
Yep.
Yeah. It's usually not something illegal.
No.
Like what this was.
This one was definitely illegal.
Yeah.
And that's what the person there. So it's not like Am I the Asshole where everyone votes in this Reddit community. That's what they are. In this Reddit community, malicious compliance, it's just like everyone's like, "Wow, you're amazing, good job."
It's really just examples
it's just
of
like a story time.
How ridiculous companies can be because they don't even bother to read their own policies.
Yeah. So yeah, the one that Maverick was talking about, there was one where some company was like, "Well, we've decided that to save money, we're not going to use a hired car service." And then all of the engineers who had to travel on a regular basis were like, "Okay, well,
we'll just rent cars.
We will rent cars. We will only drive a certain number of hours, and then we will
get a hotel."
Yeah, we'll have to get a hotel. So it ended up costing them 7 to 10 times more in 1 quarter.
Yeah.
Than it had before, and everyone was like,
and the company went back at the employees and were like, "Why are you costing us so much money?" And they're like, "We're following the policy word for word that you wanted us to follow."
They literally were like, "Here's the policy, here's what we were doing, here's the other chunk of the policy, here's what we're doing."
Yeah.
So yeah, malicious compliance is one of the best, I think. I like reading Am I the Asshole, Malicious Compliance, and Petty Revenge.
Ooh, Petty Revenge.
Pretty great. I don't think I have any Petty Revenge.
That'll have to be for another episode.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do a whole Petty Revenge episode.
We could do that.
That would be good. All right, what else you got?
Okay. So this one is another malicious compliance.
Ooh,
just because it's a good one.
Here we go. What's the title?
Knock off my paycheck for grammar mistakes. Let me point out all the mistakes on my boss's work.
Ooh, that's good.
This.
Oh, yeah.
I would do this in a heartbeat. I would do this even if they weren't trying to not pay me.
I mean, you're kind of a perfectionist anyway, so you would do it like this anyway.
I do, but my boss told me to do it, so.
Ooh, even better.
She literally was like, the first day she hired me, she was like, "Hey, if you are looking through any of these documents and you find a better way to do it or find a better way to say it that makes more sense, change it." Okay, cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, what do you got?
Okay. Years ago, I took a job in another country for a very small company that taught English. My responsibilities included reviewing and editing lesson plans created by non-native English speakers.
Okay.
Many of the lessons taught EU English while I was accustomed to US English. My boss...
Big difference.
Yeah. My boss and the only other native English speaker was from the UK. Huge difference between those 3 sets of English. Therefore, there are certain nuances that I was unfamiliar with. That being said, I was one of the better people on the team QAing, but I wasn't perfect by any means.
Quality assurance.
Yes, quality assurance.
Continue.
There were often glaring mistakes I saw slip through on lessons not assigned to me to review, but I never purposely called people out for them. It was kind of a shitty company.
Uh-oh.
And it had bad lessons to begin with.
Oh, good.
Great.
Good.
That's just what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's not hard enough to learn English already, and then you're throwing bad lesson plans at people.
To be fair, some of my English teachers, we live in the U.S., and some of my English teachers are
oh God, yeah.
So it's great.
It is.
But if there were glaring mistakes, I would fix them quietly. One pay period, months after I had been working there, I received a decrease in my pay, along with a note explaining that the reason was because of X and X mistakes that had slipped through on my work. I was pissed as this was not a part of my contract, and I couldn't really contest it in this
contract work
country.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That can be dangerous.
The note did, however, note that this decrease was, quote, for mistakes made on job duties, was for all employees in my department. I knew that there were tons of other mistakes on lesson plans that weren't mine, so I pulled up the first one I could find and began sending messages in the group chat for every mistake I could find. And there were a lot of them.
Oh, no. So she was correcting other people's work.
Yeah.
Ah.
Quietly, at first. Not anymore, though.
No, I wouldn't think so. Not after this.
I did this rapid fire, so nonstop, basically.
Yes.
Until my boss, who was sitting across from me, sent me a message that essentially said, "Don't worry, I can assure you I am being held to the same standards and expectations."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Before he got up and walked away in a huff.
Yeah, I'm sure he's being held to exactly the same standards as the employees.
Also, this is just the first lesson plan they could find, so that's a little sus.
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
After he walked out of earshot, my other coworker laughed and said he had messaged her and asked how I knew that particular that particular lesson was the one he had QA'd.
Shocking.
I told her I didn't know, and I had just pulled up the first one I knew there were mistakes on. I didn't get any more money taken out of my paychecks after that, but I left the company shortly after.
Isn't that great when the boss is like, "Oh, I QA'd that one, it's fine," and then you go back to look at it and you're like, "Did you though?" I had that same...
I may or may not have had bosses like that.
I had that same thing where I had a issue with a customer's file.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hey, can you check this and make sure it's right?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's fine. I looked at it." And so she sent it back to me and I went to process it. And I'm like, "No, literally, like, you didn't change anything." Mm-hmm. I went back to her 3 times and I'm like, "No, this is still wrong." Mm-hmm. And she's like, "No, it's fine. I fixed it." And I'm like, I actually sent her the policy and I'm like, "Look, it's wrong. I can't process this or I get quality assured and it goes on my file. So please fix it."
You're so nice. I wouldn't have said.
I didn't say please. I just said fix it because I'm thinking I can't get any more quality on my... I know. On my file.
Also, all your managers were very scared of me.
Yeah, they didn't like you.
They were just scared of me, and I don't know why. Probably because so behind the scenes.
Pull back the curtain.
Pull back the curtain. I have 3 degrees. They have a master's. About it. Yeah, well, bachelor's, master's, and PhD. And where we were working back in the day, when we were both working in the same physical location, the management group would have monthly meetings with like the head of the site and talk about stuff. And I didn't know it at the time, but his managers were there at the meeting that we were in, that my entire group was in. So like, technically I was a higher pay grade than they were, and I didn't know it, and I got started there. But yeah, they I think they were also afraid of me because I work in statistics, and I think that's like their big fear, is somebody who works in statistics being like, "Actually, you're doing this totally incorrectly."
Statistics do scare people.
Yeah, I know. Big scary.
But yeah, it's the best. I had an English teacher when I was in college, I believe. Undergrad.
Oh yeah.
And she was doing overheads, or like a PowerPoint. And there was a blatant misspelling. It might have been in high school. I think
I have a story.
Blatant misspelling. And I raised my hand and pointed it out.
Oh,
and she got really offended, and she in front of the whole class
in college.
I think it was University. High school.
Oh, it was it high school?
It might have been high school. Yeah. She said, "Well, thank you for letting me know. Next time, I'll make sure to point out your mistakes too." Yeah.
Professional.
Yeah. This is a paid professional talking to a student.
Yeah. I actually used to do that. So when I was getting my PhD, I was a teaching assistant for a statistics course. And there were 2 slides, and I left them in on purpose. 2 slides in 2 different, one in each in a different PowerPoint presentation. And they were both wrong. They were both very simple mistakes. Nobody ever in the 4 years that I was a teaching assistant, no one ever mentioned my mistakes.
Well, that's like
and I even, because it wasn't like a blah blah blah, here's a bunch of words. Yeah. It literally was like, here's a problem, what is the answer?
Yeah. That's like if the stories you always hear of teachers giving like a test, and they'll have the same sort of like a multiple choice test.
Yeah.
They'll have every answer be A.
I did that once.
And everyone will question themselves because they know that's not a thing, and they're like, the students will freak out.
Yeah. I did that, and I did it by accident. Because I wrote the test, and then my other TA would just randomly mix up the answers.
Yeah.
And it just all happened to be B, I think. And it was like
yeah. If you guys have ever had somebody correct your work, especially in the office or like at your job, or like you had to correct a manager's mistakes, let us know. Because
literally my first day on my job back when I started with a different job now.
Back in the
day when I first started at my current location, at my current employment, I literally walked in the door, sat down at my desk. They were like, "Here's your desk," and I was like, "Great." And the one other guy he wasn't actually the assistant manager, but he was basically the assistant manager for our group, was like, "Here's these 3 programs, fix them. Okay, bye. They don't work." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And to be fair,
surprise.
He was like, yeah, he was like, he didn't say they don't work. He just was like, "Yeah, they run all day, so they're yours now." And I was like, "Okay, cool." I literally changed the code, and they ran in like 5 minutes.
And he'd probably been working on it for a year. He couldn't get it working.
No, he literally had been working on it for about a year. And he wrote it all himself, and he did everything himself. And I was like, I literally added 6 words to the code, and I got it to change. And then I left because I was done. And I left, and I went to like the one time our group had a meeting outdoors at the restaurant. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm done. I fixed it. It ran in 10 minutes." And they were like, "Blink, blink."
That's a good one.
Somebody gave me an award for that.
Hey, recognition.
It was recognition to me, but it was also very petty to person.
I mean,
because then he left. Then he left the department. Yeah.
Ducktergoose caused somebody to leave their job.
I've done that a few times.
All right, what's the last one we got?
All right. This is back to Am I the Asshole?
Try to get this in under an hour here.
Sorry. We're
at like 40 minutes.
I gotta go shovel snow.
Yay!
It's finally sunny outside. Am I the asshole for relishing my ice cream in front of a crying toddler?
No.
I already have All right.
What do you got?
The original poster is a 25-year-old female.
Okay.
Just keep that in mind.
25-year-old female.
They had to travel to a city 6 hours away for college-related work.
Good Lord.
Yeah. The trip was pretty tight. They had to leave on Thursday night by train, reached the city on Friday early morning, was engaged in work until the evening, then take the train back home on Friday night itself. Yeah, I had...
Well, so they took the train in the morning.
Yep. No, they took the train the night before.
Oh.
Okay. Took the train the night before, got there in the morning.
Yeah.
This is like when I had that
interview.
Job interview.
Yeah.
That's a different I'll tell that story at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got into the train, it was about 10 p.m. and they still hadn't had dinner. They were exhausted.
As you would be, yes. You would be.
They happened to be sharing their cabin of the train with a middle-aged woman and her toddler.
Wait, people they don't know.
Yeah. No idea.
This makes the story even better.
Total stranger.
This makes it even better.
So there was about 30 minutes left for the train to start.
I thought they were related.
Total strangers.
Yes.
There was about 30 minutes left before the train left. So they went out of the train, quickly grabbed some snacks and ice cream, probably because it's right next to the train, I assume, and got back to the cabin. Plenty of time.
Or they bought it on the train.
No, they said they left the train.
Oh.
So it must have been like right on the like right on the platform. I decided to have the ice cream first because I didn't want that to melt.
Mm-hmm.
Totally makes sense.
And you're an adult, you can have your dessert first.
Yeah, because you bought it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go.
Yes.
Hold on to your butts.
Hold on to your butts, chat. Let's go.
The toddler saw it and started asking for it. I just looked at the mom and she goes, "Give it to my son and buy yourself a new one." Total stranger. Let me just remind you, 25-year-old woman, total stranger, and total stranger's child. Let me just repeat that. She said, "Give it to my son and go buy yourself a new one."
Wow. Think about the balls on that person. You know what I mean? Like, think of the, like, complete disregard for social norms to just be like, hey, give that to my kid.
Right. But also, you had started, the woman had started eating it. The original poster, she had started eating it.
Dude, I would have slobbered all over it. I would have spit right on top and been like, here, you want it now?
But, like, that's the thing. Like, first of all, what? This is what happened, like, back in my day. But
back in my day.
Don't we teach children not to take things from strangers anymore?
I mean,
did that go out of the way?
Adults get into strangers' cars for Uber, so I don't see the difference.
You took my thing.
Ah ha ha!
I was gonna make that joke.
I took my
joke.
Your punchline.
Did. That's what I was gonna say. It was like, now that adults just get into cars with strangers, do we not teach our children not to take things from strangers? Let alone take things that other people have eaten?
Apparently not.
Like,
apparently not.
Ebola. Worst case scenario, but
herpes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Icky.
Any other myriad of nasty health
transmittable
issues.
Diseases.
Ick. Gross.
Nope.
Sorry, that took a turn.
I'd be like walking by somebody's table on the way out of a restaurant and just be like, ooh, a little chicky tender, and just eating it off someone's plate.
Right. Actually, there's a McDonald's commercial.
Yeah.
Actually,
we saw that last night.
We just saw that last night. We had the same faces going, ew. Why would, ew.
Gross.
That's someone else's food.
No.
Anyways,
okay, continue. Sorry, we got on a tangent there.
Like, whew. Side note. That's a big side note.
Ick.
Just a big fat you, let me just say. I was taken aback because she wasn't even requesting, she was demanding. And I was way too tired to be taking any crap from anyone. Old or young. I want to meet this person.
Dude, yeah. Can we meet this person?
I'll give her all the ice cream.
Right?
I continued to have the ice cream and told the woman, shop's right out there, and they have all the flavors. I love this person.
Yes. I wonder if she has kids. No, she probably doesn't have kids.
No, she's 25-year-old female for college.
Ah, gotcha.
The toddler starts crying loudly when I plugged in my headphones.
Yes.
Great. Sorry.
I'd have turned on like the loudest like death metal I could.
Well, yeah. Sorry. I just gotta stop reading ahead. The mom started yelling at me and saying things like, "You're a brat." Chronic. "You're heartless for doing this to a child."
No, the mom is heartless for not buying the child ice cream.
Hold on, this is the best one. "You're trying to make me miss the train."
Yeah, that's her ulterior motive. She does this all the time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And other things I couldn't hear because the music was at full volume.
What? Can't hear you.
I did not feel guilty about finishing the ice cream in front of a crying toddler. Because I was really pissed off.
I think I would have gone out the platform again and got more. And just keep eating ice cream.
But yeah.
That would have been worth it. That would have been worth it. It would almost have been worth it.
Right. Not gonna lie, I felt bad for the kid sometime later, and I thought of offering him some chips, but I didn't want to engage in any form of conversation with the mom.
No.
The remainder of the journey was in utter silence.
It wasn't silence for her. She had headphones in.
Well, yeah, but like, no communication.
You don't have to talk to people in public if you don't want to.
No. That's like #1 rule of public transportation. Don't talk to anyone if you don't want to.
Yeah. Bring headphones.
Yep. I told my boyfriend about this after I came back home, and he thinks it's hilarious. But my mom was not happy about this. Dude, my mom would be all about this. My mom would be like,
"Oh yeah."
I'm gonna save this so we can talk about it. Also, look at these cute stickers on my phone.
If you guys want the stickers like that, you can get them on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Maverick21FM.
Cute stickers.
That's a great story.
Oh god. So the reason they're posting is because that their mom super guilt tripped them for depriving the child.
No.
I know.
No, absolutely not. You should not feel guilty about that at all.
She said she guilt tripped her because the poster has always been great with kids, and she couldn't believe that I would do that to a kid, even if the mom was annoying. Mom wasn't annoying.
She was demanding.
And that's a very dangerous situation. Because, first of all, not that this has ever happened. The history of crime shows that I've listened to, but you don't know what is in said food.
What if it had an allergen in it?
Right, that's what I mean. Like,
your kid's gonna go into like anaphylaxis because you had to have whatever that person was handling.
Which is right. Side note, I read a different one. It was very short, and that's why I didn't add it to this. But it was basically like, the person who posted likes spicy food. Great.
Spicy.
I'm spicy. And the person's roommate apparently liked to have this girl over who liked to just eat food out of the fridge
without asking.
So again, eating strangers' food.
Good.
And they
I see where this is going.
The girl ate the food and then screamed in the middle of the night, just screamed bloody murder. And so the roommate was trying to be like, you're such an asshole for putting spiciness in your food, and how dare you? And it's like, there's also another one I saw that was they weren't sure where to post it, if it was supposed to be in Am I the Asshole or in Petty Revenge.
Yeah.
Because technically it wasn't Petty Revenge, but somebody kept stealing their lunch out of the work fridge.
And this was a good one, yeah.
Unbeknownst to them, the person, spoil the end. Person was like the boss's kid. And I can't remember if the kid was allergic to it.
I think they were.
I think they were.
They
were allergic to, I want to say, like, peanuts or tree nuts. Something it was a nut that was in there. So
I think it was peanuts.
I think it was. So the person, because it was a pad thai.
Mm-hmm.
So the person made their own pad thai. I made it a little spicy because that's how they like it, but they put peanuts in it because that's what
you put in a pad thai,
and that's what they prefer.
And they can eat peanuts,
and they don't have an allergy. So
the kid ate it, and then the parent got mad because it wasn't labeled with an allergen.
Yeah,
or something.
The boss tried to fire the person who food it was, and they were like, well, I put it in the fridge and I labeled it as my food, so I don't have an allergen, so there's no reason for me to put an allergen. And the person went to HR, and the HR was like,
what do you want me to do about it? Yeah.
Don't worry, that person didn't get in trouble. But anyways, in this instance, it's the same thing. Like, you don't know if there's an allergen. You don't know if
it's tainted in some kind.
Tainted somehow.
Yeah. No, that...
You don't know.
Have you ever given food to a strange kid, chat? Would you have given your ice cream or your food to that kid?
That you had started eating already.
No, there also could be like a potentially very low-income college student.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, they said they're in college, so it's possible that, like, all they could afford was ice cream and whatever.
Yeah.
And but like my thing is beyond that, just demanding that some stranger that you don't know give their food that they have already started eating to your child. I really wish that they had specified what kind of ice cream treat it was.
Yeah.
Because I'm interested.
Like I still
an
wouldn't
ice
give
cream
it.
Cone. No, I wouldn't. I'm just curious because it's like that. To me, that just paints a different picture in my head.
Yeah, it does.
But it doesn't matter.
I wouldn't even give it to my own kid.
No.
If it was my ice cream, no. I'll get you your own.
Right, yeah. Like
they have to learn.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. I've seen a couple of I picked this one because it's just so outrageous. But there's a couple of ones that I've read recently that are like parents getting upset because their kids weren't allowed to like play with these toys in someone else's house.
Yeah.
It's like,
can you not tell kids no anymore?
I don't know. Is that true? You tell us, chat.
Let us know, chat. Those of you that have kids, because we don't have kids.
No.
Let us know if like you can't if you're allowed to tell kids no nowadays, or you're just supposed to like. Because I mean, like, isn't the parenting theme now to like be your kid's friend?
I don't know.
Or is that trend over now?
That's a good question.
Let us know.
Research.
Let us know, chat, because we don't know. We don't have kids.
I'm curious. But like, it just to me, it just sets your kid up for all sorts of bad things. Like,
yeah, I like didn't. Whenever I went to a friend's house when I was growing up, I never wanted to like ask for anything. I wouldn't even ask for water because I was like nervous that, I would wait until they said something. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, do you want something to eat? Do you want
when I started going to your house, that's how I did. I was like,
yeah.
I was the kid with the big house, so everybody came to my house.
Same, except it wasn't big. Everyone still wanted to be there.
You were just cool. You're just the cool kid. I was not the cool kid. I just had the big house.
I had all the video games, and I was the only kid left at home. So
yeah,
No,
I just had the big house that everybody was like, "This is cool," and I was like, "Okay." I have a TV in my basement.
Anyway, so if you guys,
it just I was like, "What?"
Yeah, that's insane.
So yeah, chat. What would you do?
What would you guys do
if you have kids? If you are a babysitter in charge of kids, nieces and nephews. We have nieces and we have nephews. Technically, our only nieces are of the canine variety at the moment. That's fine.
Yeah, what would you do in that situation?
What would you do?
What would you do in all of these situations?
Yeah.
But specifically this one, because this one I think interests me the most.
Because like I was thinking about it, and I was like, currently we have 3 nephews. One's 6, one's 4, and one's 2. They're all in the same house. So let me just say, chaos incarnate is happening in that house pretty much every day. But anyways, if they did this, I would. First of all, I don't think they would do that. But also, I would be like.
I mean, we're taking them to Disney in like 2 months, so we'll
That's true. We'll get to find out in person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for that.
So if you want to see Disney shots,
maybe we'll do a specific a post Disney with kids that aren't yours podcast.
Yeah.
To talk about it, because we've never taken kids to Disney because we don't have kids.
We don't have kids, but we are giant children. So. Yeah.
We're childless.
We're childless millennials.
Yeah, childless millennials. So if you guys have stories that you want us to talk about, put them down in the comments.
Yeah, if you found some really cool Am I the Assholes, Petty Revenge, Malicious Compliance, really anything on Reddit that you think would be funny for us to talk about, leave it in the comments.
Yeah.
Or even if sometimes they don't let you post links in the comments. So if that's the case, just say the title or the topic, and we can look it up. And,
let us know. Yeah. Well, hope you guys enjoyed. This is episode 1 of the Reddit on Reddit podcast. We'll do our best to try to be fairly regular.
We try.
But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll talk to you guys in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.